Are you gonna resign again this game to realize afterwards that you could have saved it? Here black has a dangerous threat. Bishop here is checkmate. Controlling this square is impossible for now. So the only way is to start thinking about possible stalemates. But we have so many pawns and a knight that can move. How can a stalemate even happen here? Simple. Just sacrifice everything you have. Ready? We push. He takes. We push. He takes again. Now push this one. He takes. And now give him this one as well. If he takes, it's a stalemate. So he'll put his bishop on h7 to try to checkmate. So we control this square with our knight. The bishop goes to f5. And now knight f3. King takes. We take the pawn and draw. If the bishop moves there, the knight takes the pawn and draw again. And the last possible move for black is to try and pin the knight. But now, do you see what just happened? Do you think this knight is able to stop this pawn from queening? No point starting with endless calculations. Please, what do you think is the winning move here for white? To find the answer, you had to use two chess tricks. One, the deflecting knight sacrifice. You sacrifice the knight, so this one is now too far away to stop the pawn. When he takes, principle number two is to always put your king one square diagonally from his knight. So the h-pawn is unstoppable. Let me show you. Knight c2. We push. Knight e3. Should you push again or play a king move instead? King g5 is the winning move. Same principle again. Knight c4, push. And the GM resigned because he saw that after knight e5, h7, knight goes there, but the king attacks it. The knight ends up in the corner. And now, how do you win the knight and the game? Can you believe black can win this endgame? Everybody makes this mistake in chess. We love pushing our pawns until we realize black is queening too, so it's just a draw. But here, pause the video if you're feeling strong today. Play the beautiful move, knight e5. If white decided to ignore the knight and push, knight here wins. King d6, knight here, king here, and I let you take my knight. I move my king out of the way. You take, I queen, and if king here, queen check. King here, queen b6. King here, check, and when the king blocks his own pawn, you bring your king and repeat this until the black king makes it to c6 to checkmate. But wait, what happens if white grabs the free knight? Well, nothing is free in life. I simply move my king here. You push, I queen, you queen, and now how can you win the white queen in two moves? Can you believe this Grandmaster could not win this endgame with a piece up? Let me first show you how he messed up. Knight c5, thinking that attacking this pawn would help him win this game, but after king c4, taking this pawn is a big blunder, because white now activate their king on b5. Knight comes back, king b6, and now you see what's happening? The king is stuck, the knight cannot move, or the king Pac-Man this one. So what do you do with black when you messed up? King b5, again blocking these three squares, and if the knight moves, you simply push your pawn, take, and it's a draw because king plus knight cannot checkmate the king. But wait, I said the GM messed up. He could have won this. Let me show you. King c7, king here, king b8, king c4, and now king a7, king b5, knight check, king c5, and king here attacking the pawn. And if he attacks our knight, we check, and if he wants our knight again, you know what? This time, give it to him. Take the pawn, and when he takes the knight, take the second pawn. This pawn now is unstoppable. I know this pawn is scary, so the first two moves that came to your mind are either to go there or come closer with your king. But you can't win with white if you play like this. Let me show you. Knight here, king g4. You want to bring your king, but now I push already. And if you try to come closer, I push. And your knight is lost, because if you move it, I queen. If you don't, I capture it. And I go after your pawn. But this pawn endgame is just a draw. We want to win with white. The best move to win is to go in a totally opposite direction to what you were thinking about. Remember this winning plan. 1. Your knight becomes like a national guard for this square of promotion. Second step. Now this king is free to go after this pawn. Check this out. When black starts pushing, we come back right on time to control the square of promotion. And all this king has to do now is go grab this pawn and win the pawn endgame.